Hello, I'm Mayor Jeffrey Graham. Welcome to downtown Camden, the heart of our small town and the area that we are committed to revitalizing. The past year has presented Camden with many challenges related to the current economic climate, but through it all, Camden has remained strong. One of the biggest changes in 2009 was a transition from longtime manager to a new manager. I'm sure the transition to new mayor is always interesting, but combining that with a new manager could have been really challenging for our staff. They handled it very well, and I appreciate their willingness to adapt to a different style of leadership so quickly. It didn't take long for us all to get settled in, and one of the first things Council and I wanted to emphasize was the need for the city to aggressively pursue grants during these trying economic times. Currently, the city has either been awarded or anticipates grants totaling over $2 million, thanks to the tireless work of our staff. These grants allow us to work on projects that wouldn't otherwise be able to be funded. Our largest anticipated grant this year is a $500,000 Community Development Block Grant from the Department of Commerce that we plan to use to revitalize the area near City Hall and the Fine Arts Center. By making the sidewalks and the streets more inviting, we hope that will encourage more of the community to walk down to our shops and restaurants and spend more time on the campus of the Fine Arts Center. We also were fortunate enough to receive over $22,000 in grant money for improvements to lighting and outdoor furniture in Boykin Park. This park, like most of Camden, has much rich history within the surrounding community that we cannot let its condition slide. During the dedication ceremony for the new equipment, many of the longtime residents of Boykin Park community spoke about the memories of growing up on that very soil. Council and staff and I want to do everything that we can to ensure that the next generation of children growing up in Boykin Park has the same chance to make similar memories. We appreciate the work other residents have done to continue to clean up and bring it back to what it used to be, what it should be. We also underwent a bond rating review by Standards & Poor's. This year, we reaffirmed our A rating. This is great news for the city. During the time when many cities and businesses are losing their good ratings due to poor financial planning and management, Council and staff have done a great job of making sure that Camden doesn't fall down the ladder. This is an important step when it comes to financing large projects in the future. Our A rating will allow us to borrow money at good interest rates and saving us money down the line. There have been a few major updates to the city ordinances this year. The first was dealing with how to regulate signs in the city. With the guidance of staff, we were able to update our ordinance to make it easier to understand and follow, cleaning up the regulations and avoiding confusion in the future, which will save our staff time and save our local businesses money. Another significant change was in the city zoning on payday lenders. With North Carolina and Georgia cracking down on payday lenders, our state has become the industry's hotbed. The City Council stepped up and took a leadership role on the issue for the entire state by passing an ordinance delineating their location. Our city already has too many of these establishments in our downtown area. The new restrictions won't affect payday lenders currently in business, but it will limit where they can open in the future. Payday lenders discourage other business from moving into the area. Their often transitory nature can add to urban decay as establishments come and go, and they reduce property values in the surrounding areas. In short, they're not what we're looking for downtown development. There's only so much we can do locally to control the oversaturation of this industry in our city, but I believe this law is a big step towards ensuring Camden maintains the charming southern atmosphere we are known for. One change we made this year will be obvious in the next few years as you drive around town. This ordinance allows us to repair, close, or demolish unkept or abandoned houses more easily. The new ordinance allows the city to act on citizen complaints quicker than in the past. The abandoned properties can become more than just eyesores, but safe havens for criminals. By taking the necessary steps to clean up housing stock that is unfit for habitation, the city will make Camden safer and more attractive. The most highly publicized policy change this year was the creation of the hospitality tax. The historic routes have drawn tourists in for decades. The best way to maximize the tourism dollars spent in Camden and to provide tourism boosting promotions and improvements is the 2% hospitality tax. The tax, which we expect to yield approximately $440,000 annually, is assessed on the sale of prepared food and beverages within the city limits. Revenue generated by the tax will be put back into local projects and events to generate additional spending in Camden. All the revenue generated by the tax must be spent on the promotion of tourism or infrastructure improvements related to the hospitality industry. Some of the revenue will be used to promote Camden's cultural, historical, and equine events. It may be also used to improve downtown parking, access to historic parks, and the promotion of the city as a whole. By drawing more consumers into Camden, the reinvestment of tourism-related money can be a positive effect on property taxes. Since an increase in local option sales tax revenue allows the city to lower its residential property tax, the effort to recruit more out-of-town visitors could serve to ease the property tax burden. Not all the changes for Camden are happening in the city limits. Projects like the South Carolina Equine Park are on the edge of town and vital to Camden's future. The park, which opened in late September, is a world-class facility that will bring millions of dollars of commerce into Kershaw County in the future. The city partnered with Kershaw County, the State Department of Parks, Recreation, and Tourism, and the South Carolina Electric Cooperatives to help fund the park. The investment will be rewarded almost immediately with the increase in tourism dollars. It is clear that we are working to bring more folks to Camden, but we're also working to ensure that our city has an inviting atmosphere where people want to live, play, and work. This will be accomplished by making our public spaces more inviting and fresh. One step in this plan is updating the parking lot on the east side of Broad Street to create not only a better place to park, but a place that can be used for events and gatherings that we have never been able to hold before. In order to make downtown more inviting to people passing through town, we are working on creating a permanent truck bypass to lead large trucks around the downtown area. These trucks are valuable to the area's commerce, but their heavy presence downtown isn't necessary. They are loud, produce unpleasant fumes, and most importantly, discourage people from walking from shop to shop and crossing the street. We want downtown to be a place where people feel safe walking and hanging out. Traffic and parking shouldn't be something that keeps people from enjoying downtown. Improving Camden's business atmosphere isn't just about making the environment more inviting. It's also about filling some of those empty retail spaces in Camden responsibly with businesses that will succeed. To guide these efforts, Council recently formed the Camden Redevelopment Corporation. The corporation will be governed by a board of business leaders and members of council, and its focus will be to guide redevelopment of abandoned buildings and vacant properties in a way that maintains Camden's small town feel, but also strengthens our local economy. We want to preserve what makes Camden special, but at the same time foster a local business community that is viable and stable as possible. The Redevelopment Corporation will allow for collaboration between private and public sector and the creation of a situation where each side's hard work will benefit the city as a whole. As you can tell, we have spent a lot of time and effort over the past year working on economic development, but the biggest project the city has taken on in decades is coming up, and it's something you will use every day. The upcoming construction of the wastewater treatment plant is something that unfortunately cannot be avoided. This multi-million-dollar project is something that is made necessary due to the increased regulations on the quality of water discharge into the watery river. We will be switching from a lagoon-style plant to a mechanical plant to meet these heightened requirements. City staff is working to ensure that the cost of construction and the operation is as value-driven as possible, and the cost that we are forced to pass on to the ratepayers as prudent as possible. The city is aggressively pursuing all available state and federal funding opportunities to help us keep the financial burden low. We will continue to do everything we can to ensure that the plant is constructed as efficiently as possible and the wastewater operations run as smoothly for decades to come. As a way to pull all these policy changes and future projects together, Council and staff recently underwent a strategic planning process to help keep us focused and on track in the coming years. This strategic plan is designed to make the City of Camden organization as productive and efficient as possible. Our future is bright. Camden has so much going for it, and we cannot sit idle and rest. There's much room for improvement. This past year has been one of trying economic circumstances, but Camden has remained strong. This is a testament to the solid leadership of the past, but also a sign of the promising years to come. There have been many changes in the past year, but one thing remains the same. We will continue to do all that we can to make sure that Camden remains the place that you are proud to call home. Thank you.